Hello, and welcome to Your Bridge to Addiction Resources, a program that is sponsored by the People's Chronicles and the Council on Chemical Abuse. My name is Yvonne Stroman. I'm the Community Program Specialist at the Council on Chemical Abuse. And today we're going to talk about services that are in the community. We're going to talk about recovery-oriented services and really how they help provide support to individuals and families. And with me to do that is a good friend of mine. I'm going to ask if he wouldn't mind introducing himself, and then we're going to have a conversation about Common Ground Ministries. So who are you today?
I'm Pastor Tom Scornavacchi. Most people know me as Pastor Tom. I am the mission developer and pastor for a community called Common Ground Recovery Community, which is a community that provides services and ministries to people in recovery.
And Pastor Tom, how long have you been doing that? And can you give us a little bit about how this all got started?
So I've been doing this since, 2009,
Okay.
One way or another. Common Ground actually got started out of a conversation between Atonement Lutheran Church and the 12-step communities. And the conversation was, I wonder what we as a church could learn from 12-step communities. And out of that grew this speaker series, the Healing Spiritual Power of 12-step spirituality, and that is now in its 9th year, having speakers 4 to 5 times a year, people from all over the country that share their stories, their experience, strength and hope as a way of educating the community in general.
Great. And you talk about a speaker series, but I also know that Common Ground is expanded to additional services that are in the community, such as the stand-up mic night and such as the Wednesday evening programs. Can you share a little bit more about those programs and what is really the premise behind some of those services?
Sure. So the stand-up mic, that's our open mic program, is a program that happens once a month on the 3rd Friday. It's a place where we talk about good, clean fun. It's an opportunity for budding artists or people who've been around a long time to share their gifts in a very safe environment. We often have people who will perform for the very first time because it's a venue where they can do that and feel safe. So it gives people an opportunity to express themselves, is what that's about. Our Wednesday evening is a unique worship service where we combine spirituality, a liberal Lutheran theology, and the 12 steps, and blend them all together into this soup where 75 to 100 people on a Wednesday night come, and we read literature from 12 steps, we read some sort of a reflection, and we read something from scripture, and then people talk about it. So it's not all about a very pastor-centric thing, but rather community-centered. Mm-hmm. We've recently started in August here in downtown Reading at Trinity Lutheran Church, and there we do a 4 o'clock Sunday dinner service where we actually sit at tables for the whole service. Halfway through the service, we go get food, bring it back to the tables, and eat as small group community. Amazingly, in the 2 months we've done that, we're now, this past week we had 74 people. Many are homeless, many are living in transitional housing, and it's providing them with a spiritual core to help them in their journey.
And you mentioned spiritual core, and I think that we all, as if I may, God's children, can benefit from that spiritual fulfillment. And let me ask you this, because you're working in conjunction with Atonement Lutheran Church and Holy Trinity. Do individuals have to be members of those churches to be able to participate in the activities from Common Ground Ministries?
Short answer, no. Slightly expanded answer, doesn't matter to us what you believe or how much you believe or whether you claim you are Christian or Buddhist or Jewish, and we have or Muslim. We have people from all faiths who come and join us because we're pretty open. Now, having said all of that, in the middle of our service, we have communion, which our community feels is very central. But there's many ways to look at that in terms of what we're doing during that time. And in fact, as I said with Reading, the communion actually spreads out to be the very meal that people are eating. So more than a token bread and juice,
Yes.
it is a full sit-down meal. No, you don't need to belong to a church. You don't need to belong anywhere. You walk in the door in, dressed to the nines or in pajamas. You can get up and walk around when you get bored, or you need to get a cup of coffee or a brownie or whatever.
Yeah.
We're just kind of laid back and more interested in allowing people to express themselves and hear a message of hope.
And I believe that message of hope resonates when people are invited to come in and participate. And you're talking about the open mic night and folks being able to, whether through poetry or whether through reading, or song, the opportunity to express themselves in a safe and loving and supportive environment, which is really, really crucial and critical for individuals in long-term recovery. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, yes, I think that people communicate and understand best through story. So whether those are stories in Scripture, which if we look at Scripture, it's story after story after story, whether it's stories that are told in a speaker series, whether it's stories that are told as we sit in a circle in a place like Common Ground and share our stories, share our brokenness, share our struggles, but also share our joys. And so it is in community that we grow, that we grow spiritually, and that we grow connected. And so we're really about trying to take community, which is a part of spirituality,
Absolutely.
And leverage that to a greater community.
What's next for Common Ground Ministries? You had mentioned that you started at Atonement Lutheran Church, and now you're in the city of Reading. Any other thoughts of expanding to other parts of the community?
January 12th, we will be doing an Episcopal expression of Common Ground at St. Gabriel's in Douglasville.
Wonderful.
They did a recovery service years ago, and so we want to restore that. We want to bring that back, and so we're really excited about having the opportunity to go to another location. So we're kind of in Western Berks with Atonement. We're in Central Berks with Reading, and now we can be in Eastern Berks. And who knows from there? I know there's many other churches who call us and talk to us who are interested in doing whatever they can in their communities as well.
Yeah. And all of this great work that you're doing, I have to ask, how has this impacted you personally or professionally as you continue to reach out and help individuals across the table? How has this impacted you?
In incredibly miraculous ways, in energizing ways. I've always enjoyed the work we do, and being in development as a mission developer, we're always sort of on a cutting edge. When I came into Reading and started Common Ground at Trinity, I don't know, my spirit is just fed so much by the community that comes there truly out of their brokenness, asking for blankets, asking for mittens and scarves and hats, but also really participating in what we do and volunteering to help afterwards. We use, dishes and knives and forks and spoons rather than disposable things, because it honors the fact that many of us, when we're living on the street, feel disposable. And so we think it's important that we do everything we can to not only be welcoming, but to restore the dignity, the human dignity that God intended for us.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's really special, and really a beautiful and I think on some level unique service that you're offering to the Berks County community. So I just want to say thank you. It is a privilege to know you, and it is just an honor to work side by side with you as we reach out and really restore dignity and hope to those that are broken and may feel hopeless.
Yeah.
How can individuals learn more about Common Ground Ministries? Is there a website they can go to, or is there a phone number they can call? How could someone who might be listening today that might need that extra sense of an ear or even just a word of hope, how can they gain that information?
So we have a website, www.commongroundrecoverycommunity.org. It's a long name, but we just didn't know how to shorten it. That page is in development, but it is open now and would at least give you all the critical information, including the need, how you might be able to get in touch with me through my phone, through email. You can also call Atonement Lutheran Church at 610-375-3512. So those are many, many ways that you can get in touch with us. And if you are so fortunate that you want to support us, because obviously the community that we serve is not self-supporting in any way.
Yes.
The great majority of our support comes from outside sources. So if there's ever a time that someone wants to contribute, please go to our website or call me directly. We are a 501c3 and your contributions would be tax deductible.
That's great, and 'tis the season to give, and so we hope that anyone that's out there listening would think about Common Ground, and we could always use prayers for those as we go out and do the ministry. Yes. To give us the strength and the courage to continue one day at a time. And for those of you that also might be interested in learning more about the Council on Chemical Abuse, I invite you to visit our website at www.cocaberks.org. That's COCABERKS.org. Or you're welcome to call us at 610-376-8669. So I want to thank Tom again for coming out and joining and talking with us about Common Ground Ministries. I'm Yvonne Stroman. This is your Bridge to Addiction Resources. Thank you.
Check back every week for a new story with your Bridge to Addiction Resources. You can call 610-376-8669 or visit online at cocaberks.org. COCABERKS.org. Be sure to like and follow the Council on Chemical Abuse on Facebook and Twitter.